Hello everyone, so I've had this machine for about just over a month now, so I thought I'd give my overall honest opinion on it. The machine I've got is a Blomberg RapidJET, and it also has home-ways connectivity. It has a maximum load of 9 kg, a 1400 RPM maximum spin speed, and is energy rated. So if I just open the door, you have got a really nice door, so you have with a really nice chrome trim on it. It is really easy to open. You don't have like an actual proper handle. You just pull it from there and the door opens. You've got really nice glass on it. The door does open about 170 degrees wide, but obviously I've got the wall there, so it doesn't open fully. The glass on this machine, as you can see, is tilted. So it is, so that means whenever the clothes are washing, it basically means that they slap against the glass and go down, which is meant to help them clean a bit better. So it does. If I go to the drum, you've got a really big 9 kilo drum. This is like extremely big in comparison to the 8 kilo machine that this replaced. So it is really nice drum paddles as well, which aren't ridiculously small, so it can tumble a small load perfectly fine, unlike some machines where like the clothes would just like glide over them and basically like roll up into a ball and don't really do that tumbling action. With this machine, you may notice that there's a blue paddle that right here. What that's for is for the RapidJET technology. So this machine does have a jet system, but it isn't your typical one on like the door seal. It basically has a recirculation pipe at the top of the drum, and part way through the wash, this paddle has a sensor in it, and as the drum turns, it will use that sensor to stop the drum turning right there whenever that paddle's at the top, and then it'll turn on the recirculating system and the water will come through that paddle onto the top of the clothes. What this is meant to do is it makes the wash 50% faster and 50% gentler on the clothes, so it does, as the flow of the water onto the clothes helps speed up how long it takes for the wash. So if I do turn it on, you will notice that your typical cottons wash on most machines, this would default for a half load about 2 hours, so it would, whereas with this one it's 1 hour 15. But I'll get on about the timings once I'm finished talking about the drum, because as you can see, whenever I turned the machine actually on, a drum light comes on, which is really handy. So it is, as it's really easy to find socks that are maybe stuck to the drum whenever the cycle is finished, unlike most machines that don't have a light where you'd have to like turn it a few times to actually see the socks, especially if they're like quite dark coloured. So the drum light is like a massive bonus, and I couldn't live without one now. Thankfully, unlike the grundig FIBERCatcher that I previously had, this bulb won't get water damaged and doesn't go absolutely crazy whenever suds touch it, and still works after a month. And the door seal, because of this being the old design seal, it doesn't catch on the drum like what happened with the new seal on the grundig. But one con about this door seal is that it does leave a pool of water on it, because of the fact that the holes are higher than the lowest part of the seal, so that can be a bit annoying, but it doesn't really bother me too much. So if I just close the door, actually I probably should have talked about this, as you can hear whenever I turn the drum, it isn't that loud or whiny at all. this machine does use an Optima inverter motor, which means that instead of using brushes to turn the motor, it uses a set of magnets instead, which makes the motor way more reliable and way quieter on whenever the machine's on. So if I just shut the door and I'll take you up the drawer, it has a really nice chrome trim on the handle, just underneath the brand logo, which is extremely nice. This is your drawer right here. It is a little bit shaky, but it doesn't bother me at all. So it doesn't, you've got 3 compartments: pre-wash, main wash and softener. With the main wash, you'll see that there's like this wee thing at the back. If you flip it down, it's really awkward to actually get that flip down. You can see there's like wee markings on that with 50ml and 100ml. What this is for is if you want to use liquid detergent in the machine, you just pull that down and then pour your liquid in, and then it doesn't flow like straight into the machine. That does hold it back somewhat, so it doesn't. Then you just lift that up for powder, and then obviously, like I said, you have your softener. One con about this drawer is it's way too small, so it is like you can barely fit any powder into it. It's extremely shallow compared to, say, the likes of this Beko that it replaced. As you can see, the drawer is like way bigger and it has this liquid thing in it. As you can see, compared to that one, it's really small, so it is. Just stick that back in. Obviously you just press this down and then the drawer comes out. I'll just take that out and show you in here. One con about in here that I find is because of this blue thing, and powder tends to get stuck on that. That's a bit gross, but it's nowhere near as bad as what it was with my previous Samsung that I had. That was atrocious, but this one does need cleaned out like sometimes, as you can see. But sometimes it's not always that bad. It's more whenever the powder is like really badly clumped and then the drawer just goes in like that. So if I talk about the programs now, this machine has a total of, I believe, 16 programs on the machine, and you can download like 5. I think there's like 5 downloadable ones. Obviously you just turn the dial round and it makes a beep as you do that. And beeps whenever it's turned off. So I'll just turn it to cottons. As you can see, you've got your screen here where you can change all the settings on it. It is very flexible, so it is, and you can do like a maximum of 90 degrees. That's the highest temperature you can do on this machine. Like pretty much all machines, to be honest. As you can see, like the times are ridiculously short, like 1 hour and 39 minutes for a 90-degree wash. But I'll talk about these times now. The time that this machine displays, it displays them for a half load. So it does, well, for the cottons, Eco 40 to 60 stain, dark and dark wash, it displays the times for a half load. So say if you've got a full load of washing in the machine, that 1 hour 15 wash that you think you're sticking on could very easily turn into a 3.5 hour wash very easily. But I find with this machine, to counteract that, it has the shorter wash option. So as you can see, I just pressed that once and it changed from 1 hour 15 to 1 hour 11. Instead of adding on an extra 2 hours with this option, it only adds on an extra 20 to 30 minutes, which I find is extremely good for full loads that I want done quite quickly, as it will only take 1.5 hours instead of like 3 hours. So it will, which is really good, and you can press it twice to take it down even further to 58 minutes on that. But I do find I don't really use it twice because it takes away all of the spins after the wash and between the rinses. So the only one it does is the final spin, which means that the clothes don't come out rinsed well. So I tend to just use it on shorter wash times 1. And you can also change the spin speed as well on it. It does have a rinse hold feature, and then you can take off the spins altogether, and that will actually take off the spins between the rinses as well. It's not like some machines where it only takes off the final spin. Another feature it has is if you hold the spin button for 3 seconds, you will have seen this symbol come up. This is an anti-crease plus feature, which means whenever the wash is done, the machine will periodically tumble for up to 8 hours after a cycle is finished, which is extremely useful if I'm not around to take the clothes out straight away, or just want to leave it, like say if the dryer is on and it hasn't finished and I don't have any more washing. It is extremely useful and is much better than just having the clothes sitting there in the machine, like, rather than not tumbling, you know. You do have like a bunch of options. Like I said, you do have a pre-wash option. Not only does this machine add a pre-wash, but it also increases the main wash level if you do select that. So normally on the main wash it would only fill below the drum rim, so about up to about there, so it would. Whereas if you use pre-wash, it fills up to about there. This can be good if it's a full load, but if it's a half load, it's really bad, as it's still filling up to about there on where the glass is like starts to tilt. So it is because they'll just be floating on pools of water that it doesn't even need. And I think that steam is the same. I'm pretty sure it does the same for the main wash. But steam isn't really good either, because it puts in too much water for the steam. So the clothes are actually like in the water as it does the steam phase, and boils the clothes rather than doing an actual steam phase. So it does, if you get what I mean. So it can damage like garments that aren't meant for like 90 degrees, which isn't good at all. If you hold this button in steam for 3 seconds, you have an extra rinse option, which just adds on an extra rinse. And also if you use it on cottons, it does a really fast spin before the final rinse, up to 1400 RPM, which pretty much all machines do not do. So that massively improves the rinsing performance. Obviously, like I said, you do have these symbols underneath. So like I said, that one is extra rinse, that's anti-crease. If you hold pre-wash for 3 seconds, this is the drum clean cycle. So it just to clean out the machine, it does it for you. Just press start and then it cleans it out for you, which is good. But it also has a hidden calibration mode as well. So if you change the spin to no spin, then it calibrates the machine for you. So it does. You also have child lock on the machine, and basically all that does is just lock off the buttons, as you can see, and you can't change the cycle either, whether it's on, but you can't. Toddlers can still turn the machine off if you have that on, which isn't great, but oh well. You have an ending in option, which goes up to 24 hours, I believe. Yeah, up to 24 hours. That's really good if you want to like stick on a wash overnight and you want it to finish in the morning or something like that. If I do turn the dial to downloaded program, you will notice there's this option there. The door will lock, and this basically enables you to control the machine on your phone. As you can see, the Bluetooth light is flashing, and you can connect this machine to the HomeWiz app and download programs and also start it on your phone. I did find this machine is really easy to connect to the Wi-Fi, well, the Bluetooth, it doesn't actually use Wi-Fi, which is a bit of a shame. All that you do is you just, obviously that door just unlocked there, is you just press these two buttons for 3 seconds, and then it enters the Bluetooth mode, and then it just tells you what to do on the app. But if I stop that, so yeah, it's like really good, so it is, but the app is a bit limited, to be honest. It's not like that great, some of the options, so I just tend to do it on the machine. So I do, fast full load is a cycle I presume that quite a lot of people will use. This is probably like one of the most flexible quick washes on the machine, as it allows right up to 90 degrees. If I was to use that, I tend to use 40. It allows right up to 1400 RPM. You can add steam if you want to, which is really good. You can do an extra rinse if you have sensitive skin like myself. And you can even shorten the wash. And it does have a 14-minute quick wash to refresh a few garments, obviously like not like a massive load, just like a couple of items, and still allows you to do up to 1400 RPM, as you would have saw. Some cons about this machine, like I said, obviously the time can jump up, but it only does that on Cotton's Eco 40 to 60, dark wash and stain, and like the likes of stain only add on like 45 minutes. If I talk about Eco 40 to 60, just forget this program. This program is atrocious. Like quite a lot of machines, especially the ones that are A-rated, Eco 40 to 60 is a bit diabolical, to be honest. If you use it on Eco 40 to 60, it will wash with no water whatsoever. What it basically does is it relies on the jet system to pump the water over the clothes in a very low level to get them clean. Because it uses so little water, this jet system tends to run dry and doesn't wash the clothes well because it can't pump any water up because there's none in the drum, and it doesn't add any extra. Another thing is no matter what temperature you select, it's cold. It like pretty much all machines, it's cold, so it is. So I tend to just not use that one whatsoever. Cool Wash is another kind of eco-friendly program. You can't turn it up to 30 max, and it does allow a full 1400 RPM spin. But the reality is, if you select 30, it only heats for 2 minutes. So even though you're changing it to 30, it's still pretty much just cold, which ain't great. But all of the other cycles are extremely good. Obviously, like hygiene is like the longest for a small load, which isn't exactly great. But yeah, if I take you down here, this is your pump filter. It does have an emergency door lock release right here. So say for example, if you had a power cut or something like that, and the door is locked, to unlock a door, you basically just pull this wee tab right there down, but I'm not going to do that right now. But you also have this pipe to let the water out if like the pump's clogged and the machine's filled with water and won't drain. And then this pump also, like you just unscrew that and that's the filter. Really easy to take out, so it is. And overall, it's just a really great machine, even with the cons. So I may as well stick on a wash and show you how quiet this machine is. While it's running, I'll be back in a second. Right, so I'm back. I've got my wash, and it's basically just a set of bedding and a load of towels. Obviously that's my detergent there. I will stick in the detergent, but I won't film the loading, so I won't. If I can actually get this open. Oh, sorry guys. There we are. Obviously, because of this being a big load, you have to stick in 2 tablets, as it says on the side of the packaging. Right there. stick into. So I'll get this loaded up, and I'll be back in a second. Right, so we're all loaded up now. As you can see, everything did fit in perfectly fine. Just shut the door, and if I come to the drawer, I've got my softener right here. Just pouring full cup of that. Then obviously, like I said, it just goes into the middle compartment. Now obviously make sure not to go above this max line here, or it will take the softener in early, which will deactivate the detergent, so you really do not want that to happen. I want this to be washed on a hot to 60-degree wash. I do want the anti-crease on. I tend to turn that on for everything. I do tend to extra rinse off this stuff, and because of this being a full load, I don't want it to be on for 4 hours, so I'll put on shorter wash. And now we're set to go. So all that you do now is just press start. Now you will notice there's a wee sock that just came on there. So say for example, if you forgot to stick something into the washer, all that you do is you just press the start button, and as you can see, the door is unlocked and you can add in whatever you need to add in. Just shut the door again and just press start. It's really that simple, and you can do that with water in it as well, obviously, as long as it's not up to the glass, then it won't allow you, and then it won't unlock the door. This symbol is really just a guide. Sometimes even whenever you press the pause button and the symbol isn't there, it will allow you to, unlock the door. So it will. So I will let it do its thing, and I'll come back once the time has been adjusted, just to show you that obviously it does adjust depending on the load. It is extremely quiet whenever it fills. As you can hear. But I should probably bear in mind, I do have really low water pressure. So if you do have like most people, way better water pressure than I do, and then it will be louder filling up, so it will. So I'll come back whenever it's washing. Right, so it's still doing the sensing part now, so it is. As you can hear, it's extremely quiet while it's on. The drum light does turn off after 10 minutes. But yeah, the only real sounds that you can hear is just the glows hitting the glass and sloshing about in the water. It's definitely one of the quieter machines on the market. And as you can see there, it's just jumped up from 128 to 158. It isn't too bad, like I said, whenever you have shorter wash on. If it was on 40, it would only jump up to about an hour and 38 or something like that. Or an hour and 20, no, probably about an hour and 38 to be fair. But yeah, overall it's a really great machine. Right, so it's at the end of the main wash now, and on to the RapidJET phase. So as you can see, it's tumbling normally. So it is right now, and then in a wee second, as you can see, it starts to go slower until that paddle's at the top. and then it sprays water down through that onto the load. That's basically all that RapidJET and Aquatech is. So it is, it just sprays it onto the load. It's mainly towards the end of the main wash it would do it. Sometimes it would do it, like on cottons, it only does it for about 8 minutes during the main wash. But the likes of stain would do it for about 20 minutes. Eco 4060 would do it throughout the entire program. Fast fill load does it to saturate the load, and then does it for another 3 minutes before it drains. But thankfully, a really good thing with this machine is that it does use the RapidJET on the rinses as well. So it's not like some machines where they only use the jet system on the wash. It uses it on the rinses as well, which is really good. It hasn't made it yet, but you may notice while I'm filming, the machine does make this weird knocking sound. I have to get back out to look at it. So I do. Thankfully, this one, because of it being a Blomberg one, they're covered by a 3-year warranty, whereas Beko ones are only covered by a 1-year warranty. This machine, I did buy it for £450 brand new, but I think now it's up to about 480. At least the last time I checked it was at that. But it's definitely worth the price, I'd say, to be honest. It's definitely one of the best ones I've ever had, to be honest. See, hear that like knocking noise it just made there now. Right, so it's on to the spin after the wash now. It isn't too loud, but obviously because of that knocking, it does make it louder, so it does. As you can hear. I do really need to get that fixed, but it is what it is. For some reason, it also, well, it makes that knocking. There's like cables on the side or something on the side, and whenever it spins, you're quite out of balance to like hit against the drum. I don't know if that's a problem with like all of them, or if it's like just my particular one. As you can hear, the knockings went away now. I do, like I said, I do need to get that sorted. Whenever there is no knocking, it is quiet. So it is. It may sound a bit louder on the camera, but it really is quiet, so it is. And then as it goes on to rinse, the lights move on, so that they... Right, so it's on to the last rinse now. It has taken in the softener, so it has. As you can see, it does use Aquatech on the rinses. And and it does rinse at a really good water level. This is the machine now at 1400 RPM. As you can see, it isn't that loud at all and it barely vibrates, which is really good. Right, so it is now on the anti-crease. As you can see, it says 000. So what to do now is just press the start button and I'll come up the end. Drum light turns on and then just open the door. So overall, I'd rate this machine an 8 out of 10. It does have its cons, but it's definitely by far one of the best machines I've had. The spin performance is really good. It is excellent at removing stains and it's all round a great machine to own. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.